Have you ever walked into a room and felt the air shift before anyone spoke, like invisible eyes scanning you, like the atmosphere suddenly growing heavy? Deep inside, you know something is different. This isn't paranoia, it's not coincidence. It's a spiritual reality. Some people can't stand you, not because of what you've done, but because of what you carry. Your spirit carries a fire that can't be bought, faked, or extinguished. And when that fire enters a place, darkness trembles. In this video, we'll uncover 6 powerful spiritual reasons why you are targeted, misunderstood, or even attacked without clear explanation. You need to hear each one, because the last reason is the one most chosen ones overlook. Ignoring it could cost you your destiny. So lean in. Don't scroll away. You were led here for a reason. If your spirit is already stirring as you hear this, if something inside you whispers, "This is for me," like this video now, and type 777 in the comments. 777 is the number of divine completion, a seal over your calling. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear won't just explain your life. It will equip you to walk in it with unshakable confidence. Number 1. Your light exposes their darkness. It's like striking a match in a deep cave. The moment the flame appears, shadows panic. Not because the match is loud, but because it reveals what's been hiding. You carry a spiritual light you didn't ask for, and it refuses to be dimmed. It's in your eyes, your presence, the way the atmosphere shifts when you enter. Some people don't even know why they feel uneasy around you. They might smile or pretend to like you, but inside they're wrestling, because your light confronts what they've tried to keep hidden. It's not about being perfect or better than anyone. Spiritual light naturally reveals darkness, and darkness hates to be seen. If someone has lived in a dimly lit room for years, their eyes adjust to the shadows. Then suddenly the blinds are ripped open, and sunlight floods in. It's painful, disorienting, and then their first instinct is to shut the light out. That's why some push you away, misunderstand you, or even accuse you of things that aren't true. It's easier to reject the messenger than face the message your presence carries. Your light isn't just for you, it's a gift and a weapon. When you walk into a place, you're carrying heaven's spotlight, and things hiding in the shadows scramble to stay hidden. This is why you've faced sudden hostility from people you barely know, been excluded without explanation, or watched friends grow cold as you rise. It's not personal, it's spiritual. And no, you shouldn't tone down your light to keep the peace. The moment you hide what God placed in you, you start suffocating the calling you were born to carry. Get comfortable with the fact that your presence will make some people uncomfortable. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out. If this is making sense to you, hit the subscribe button now. You're helping keep this message visible so other chosen ones can find the truth they've been searching for. If exposing darkness is the first reason you're attacked, the next reason goes even deeper, because it's not just about what you reveal, but what you awaken. Number 2. Your spirit disturbs what's sleeping. Picture a perfectly still lake, smooth as glass. The surface is calm, silent, unmoving. Then you step into the water, and ripples spread far beyond where your foot touched. That's what your spirit does in certain places. Some people, and even spiritual atmospheres, have been asleep for years. Complacent, settled in a rhythm where nothing changes, living in a spiritual slumber. Then you arrive, not to cause disruption, but because who you are carries movement, awakening. A sound in the spirit that says, it's time to wake up. But not everyone wants to wake up. Some are comfortable in their sleep, used to the numbness. They'd rather keep hitting snooze than face what God is calling them to do. When your presence stirs something inside them, through your words or even your silence, it can trigger discomfort, resistance, even anger. It's not that you've done wrong. It's that you've interrupted the dream. And with the dream, you've broken the illusion. If someone's enjoying a pleasant dream and you shake them awake, they won't thank you right away. They'll be irritated because you pulled them out of something they liked, even if it wasn't real. Spiritually, it's the same. Your presence awakens conviction, stirs wounds they've buried, and brings truths they've avoided. That awakening, though for their good, can feel like an unwelcome interruption. That's why, when you speak insight or life into someone's situation, the conversation might shift suddenly. They become defensive, pull away, or try to shut you down. It's not you they're fighting. It's the awakening you carry. The same stirring that makes one person reject you will push another toward their destiny. Your job isn't to control the reaction, but to be faithful to what you carry. When you disturb what's sleeping, you're not just waking individuals, you're shaking spiritual structures. That's why the enemy notices. You're not just a kind person with a good heart. You're a disruptor in the spirit realm. And disruption draws resistance. Some battles you faced weren't because you did something wrong, but because you stepped into spaces where your spirit stirred what the enemy wanted quiet. God doesn't send you to keep the status quo. He sends you to bring transformation. And transformation begins with disturbance. If you felt too much for some people, or like the atmosphere fights you whenever you step into something new, it's because your spirit is breaking the stillness, and that's exactly what it's meant to do. But disturbance leads to confrontation, and confrontation reveals a deeper reason you're attacked. Your calling threatens the systems that keep people bound. Number 3, your calling threatens their control. Picture a kingdom. The ruler sits on the throne, confident that every subject knows their place, that the structure of power is solid. Then word spreads. A new heir has been born, destined to rule differently, to bring justice where there was oppression, truth where there were lies. Even before taking the throne, the very knowledge of this heir's existence makes the current ruler uneasy. That's you. Your calling is like a crown waiting in heaven's treasury. And spiritual forces, and even certain people who profit from keeping others bound, can sense it. They know you're not easily manipulated. You won't blindly follow orders. Your purpose is bigger than their system. That makes you a threat. These systems aren't always institutions. They can be unspoken rules in families, circles of influence, work environments, or even religious communities. If your calling is to bring truth, truth will always confront control, because control thrives in deception, in keeping people unaware of their true identity and authority. When you step boldly into who God made you to be, you influence others without even trying. People start questioning what they've always accepted, realizing they have choices and worth. To a controlling spirit, that's dangerous. Control depends on people staying asleep, afraid, or dependent. So when you rise, someone tries to pull you down. When you speak truth, you're labeled rebellious or too bold. When you encourage others to step into calling, you're painted as a threat. Why? Because your influence weakens their hold. And it's not just people, it's spiritual. The enemy's kingdom thrives on captivity. The moment you set captives free, you're marked. Opposition often comes disguised as concern. They'll say they're protecting you, claim you're not ready, or that you're moving too fast. Yes, wisdom matters, but sometimes you're not ready really means, I'm not ready to lose control over you. If you wait for everyone to be comfortable with your calling, you'll never move. Because the moment you step into it, certain people will feel uncomfortable. And that's proof you're in the right territory. But there's more. It's not just the control you threaten on the outside. When the enemy can't stop your rise externally, he'll try to infiltrate your thoughts, your confidence, your peace. And that is where we're heading next. Number 4, your thoughts are not easily manipulated. It's like trying to chain the wind. No matter how tight the grip, your mind refuses to be caged. This is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy thrives on deception, illusions, half-truths, carefully crafted narratives to keep people trapped in fear or confusion. But your mind has been awakened. You've tasted truth. You question what doesn't align with the spirit. You've developed a spiritual instinct that whispers, something's not right here. That refusal to blindly accept what you're told makes you hard to control. Many live repeating ideas they never questioned, following traditions they never examined, accepting limits they never tested. But you've learned not every voice deserves agreement. Not every thought comes from you. and not every authority speaks truth. When you can't be manipulated in thought, you can't be controlled in action. Free thinking inspires others to do the same, to question, to seek God themselves, to hear His voice directly. That's why you may face resistance through confusion or distraction. If the enemy can't control your beliefs, he'll flood your mind with noise, chaos in your schedule, endless scrolling, shallow conversations that drain your energy. It's subtle, but fierce. The real war is rarely about what's around you. It's about what's inside you. If doubt takes root, the enemy doesn't have to steal your calling. You'll set it down yourself. That's why Scripture says to renew your mind. Guard your thoughts. Take every thought captive to Christ. When you do, you're almost impossible to sway. No rumor, no fear campaign, no pressure can move you. In a world addicted to outrage, your calm unsettles those who want control. If this is resonating, subscribe now. It keeps messages like this visible and helps you keep growing in wisdom and strength as a chosen one. But your mind is just one layer of protection. There's something you carry that's even harder to touch. An atmosphere that shifts the room the moment you enter. That's where we're going next. Number 5. You carry an atmosphere of freedom. When you walk into a place, chains start to feel loose, even if no one says a word, even if they can't explain why. It's like opening a window in a room long sealed shut. The air changes. Walls feel smaller. Lies lose their grip. Suddenly, freedom feels possible. Freedom isn't just something you talk about. It's something you carry. It's the residue of your own breakthroughs, your own deliverances, your own seasons where God broke chains off you. When you've walked through the fire and come out free, you carry the scent of victory. Others sense it. The enemy smells it from a distance. That's why in certain places, people behave differently when you're around. Not because you try to change them, but because freedom confronts bondage. Bondage hates freedom, not because freedom harms, but because it exposes bondage as weak. Some build their identity around their chains, so when you walk in proving chains can break, you threaten their reality. Like someone who's been in prison so long that the walls feel like home. Freedom is terrifying. When you bring it, you're not just offering hope, you're challenging everything they believe. Freedom is contagious. Once one person walks in it, others follow. That's why the enemy tries to silence you, isolate you, make you question your value. Because once you know you carry freedom, you're dangerous to every chain in the room. Your freedom didn't come cheap. It was fought for in battles no one saw, so protect it. Never apologize for it. Never shrink to make someone else comfortable in bondage. If your presence makes people uneasy because it reminds them they're bound, that's their invitation to be free, not your burden to carry. Freedom doesn't just set others free. It awakens warriors, calls leaders out of hiding, and ignites those already burning. No matter how many times you've been knocked down, you still carry that atmosphere. One spark from your fire can ignite a whole room. But as powerful as freedom is, there's something you carry that's even greater. Something no attack, no lie, no storm can put out. It's the very reason you've been targeted since the beginning. We're about to talk about the fire inside you from before you were born. Number 6. The most powerful reason of all. You carry a fire they cannot extinguish. This fire is not a personality trait. It's not charisma. It's not ambition. It is the eternal spark God placed inside you before you took your first breath. A flame that was lit in the throne room of heaven and marked your life with divine purpose. This is why, even in your darkest moments, something in you refuses to quit. It's why, no matter how many times life tried to break you, you rose again. It's why storms that should have drowned you only made you stronger. Because the fire in you is not fueled by applause or comfort or recognition. It's fueled by heaven itself. And here's the truth the enemy hates. Fire spreads. It only takes a spark to set an entire forest ablaze. And you are that spark. The attacks you faced weren't random. The betrayals, the disappointments, the spiritual battles, they were all strategic attempts to smother that fire, to make you doubt it was ever there, to convince you it had burned out. But look at you. You're still here. And if you're honest, the fire is still burning. Maybe it's quiet at times. Maybe it flickers in the wind, but it never goes out. And here's what makes this so dangerous to darkness. A fire that survives the storm becomes unshakable. It burns hotter. It burns purer. It becomes a beacon for others lost in the night. Some people can't stand you because they can sense this unextinguishable flame. They can feel it in your words, see it in your eyes, hear it in the way you speak life into the dead places. And they know, if you ever truly understood the power of what you carry, nothing could stop you. That's why the enemy tries to distract you, to get you caught up in petty battles, to make you question your worth. Because as long as you're doubting your fire, you won't fully walk in it. But the moment you embrace it, the moment you protect it, feed it, and let it burn without apology, you become unstoppable. This is why I've been saying from the beginning, the last reason is the one most chosen ones miss. Because they think the attacks mean they're failing, when in reality, the attacks are proof that the fire is still alive. And here's the part you need to take with you. Fires that come from God are not meant to be hidden. They are meant to spread. They are meant to light other fires. They are meant to push back darkness. Your fire is not just for survival. It's for transformation. It's for revival. It's for destinies you haven't even met yet, and that was why they attack you. Not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to everything that thrives in darkness. Now that you understand this, it's time to talk about what comes next. Because carrying a fire is one thing, but knowing how to walk with it and use it without letting it burn you out, that's the real key. You didn't find this message by accident. Heaven has been guiding you here. Every moment of resistance you faced, every misunderstanding, every season where you wondered if you were even on the right path, it was all shaping you for this exact moment. You've learned that your light will expose what others try to hide. You've seen that your spirit stirs things that would rather stay asleep. You've realized that your calling disrupts systems of control. You've guarded your mind from manipulation. You've carried an atmosphere of freedom. And through it all, you've protected a fire the enemy could not put out. These are not small things. They are the very signs of someone chosen, set apart, marked for impact. And I know it hasn't been easy. Some days, the weight of it all feels like too much. Some days, you wonder if it would be easier to just blend in, to stop standing out, to stop carrying so much light and fire. But deep down, you know that's not who you are. You were born for this. Not to survive in silence, but to live in fullness. Not to hide your fire, but to let it shine until others ignite from its warmth. So from this moment on, walk with the confidence that every attack you faced wasn't a sign of weakness. It was confirmation of your strength. It was proof of your assignment. And now it's time to take that strength, that clarity, that freedom, and use it. Step boldly into rooms that try to push you out. Speak truth in places that only know lies. Be the proof that freedom is possible. Because here's the thing, not everyone will understand you. Not everyone is meant to. But the ones who do will find their own fire because you carried yours. If this word spoke to your spirit, share it with someone you know is also a chosen one. They may not even realize it yet, but your act of sharing could be the spark they need. And if you made it all the way here to the end, I want you to write this in the comments. My fire will not go out. Because speaking it is the first step to living it. And when this video ends, don't just click away. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now. It's the next step you need to keep your fire burning and your purpose unstoppable.